Netflix, Hurricane Katrina, and the Korean War are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is August 29th, 2022. It is the 241st day of the year. There are 124 days left in 2022. It is the 35th Monday in the 36th week and the 70th day of summer. You got 24 days left until it cools down a bit, theoretically. If today's your birthday, you are a Virgo. Today is According to Hoyle Day. According to Hoyle Day encourages individuals to honor the rules and regulations in particular situations. It's also the day to pay tribute to the man by the name of Edmund Hoyle, an Englishman who is thought to be the first technical writer on card games. Hoyle was born in 1672. At the age of 69, he began teaching a card game called whist to wealthy high society members in London. Whist is a game that is played by two teams of two players and requires logical skills along with skills in mathematics. The card game was especially popular in the 18th and 19th century. Many people in the United States and all over the world still play whist. Along with playing and teaching the game, Hoyle wrote a manuscript on the subject. He sold this manuscript to his card-playing students. He later published his manuscript under the title A Short Treatise on the Game of Whist. Along with whist, Hoyle wrote about the laws and strategies of hundreds of games, including backgammon and chess. Hoyle died on August 29, 1769, at the age of 97. Back then, that is a long ride. 97? In 1769? Back then you were lucky if you made it to 50. 40 might have been a stretch for a lot of them. All right, let's see what else August 29th has given us. 1941, World War II. Tallinn, the capital of Estonia, is occupied by Nazi Germany following an occupation by the Soviet Union. 1943, World War II. German-occupied Denmark scuttles most of its navy, and Germany dissolves the Danish government. 1944, World War II. Slavic national uprising takes place as 60,000 Slavic troops turn against the Nazis. 1950, the Korean War. British troops arrive in Korea to bolster the U.S. presence there. 1966, the Beatles perform their last concert before paying fans at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. 1997, Netflix is launched as an internet DVD rental service. Now, I used to work for Netflix, and I'm pretty up on the history of the company. And one of the myths about Netflix is that the founder, Reed Hastings, got some late fees from Blockbuster Video and decided the late fees were too much and he thought there had to be a better way. Well, that's sort of true. What happened is Reed Hastings sold a technology company, and him and another acquaintance business partner wanted to start something on the internet. This is 1997. The internet is just starting to really take off, and they were trying to come up with a way to do things. And they wanted to send things through the mail, something like that, but they wanted to take orders on the internet so they could reach the whole country. And they were trying to come up with different businesses to do this on. And Reed Hastings brought up the fact that he had just been burned by Blockbuster, which, if you remember the days of Blockbuster, they were really big on that. Late fees were, I don't know the exact number, but I'm sure close to 50% of the company's income. So that incident and those fees kind of made him think, well, maybe we could send DVDs to people. And it wasn't even DVDs in the beginning. It was VHS tapes, because DVDs hadn't really rolled out yet. So while they're working on the idea, they heard about the DVD thing, and they decided to go with DVDs because it was a lot easier. Less chance of them to be damaged when they're playing, because if you remember, VHS tapes used to get eaten by players all the time. And in the mail, they can get crushed. So they settled on this basic video store thing where you could keep it as long as you want it, but you don't get another one until you return the one you got. Originally, it was going to be like 3 videos a month, and then they eventually changed it to 3 at a time. And you had different packages all the way up to 8 at a time. At one point after they got going, well, first of all, the first day they started, their website crashed because they got more traffic than they thought. And they got that fixed. They actually had to run down to a local store and buy more servers and plug them in and get them all up and running. And it was just a small office, only like 5 people working there at the time, maybe 10 tops. So as they started gaining traction, Jeff Bezos from Amazon wanted to buy the company, and they didn't want to. But they knew that Bezos had enough money that he could start his own up and it would basically collapse their company. So they made a deal with him that if someone wanted to buy the DVD, they would add a link to the Amazon website so you could buy it there. Originally, Netflix was doing both renting and selling the DVDs. So if you got it and you wanted to keep it, you could just purchase the DVD. Now, when I was there, we were still had about 2 years left on the whole DVD being the main part of the company. About 2 years into my time there is when they started really pushing the streaming service. And it was funny in the beginning because a lot of these companies didn't really care if you streamed their older stuff. They didn't see it as a real business, so they were just giving Netflix stuff pretty much. And then as they started seeing the money being made, they kind of changed their tune and wanted some money for the streaming privilege. Sadly, these days, Netflix looks like it's really run into some serious competition with Amazon now doing their streaming, Disney, HBO, Showtime, they all got their own streaming service. And Netflix has some serious competition, but for a long time, they were the king of the hill. 2005, Hurricane Katrina devastates much of the U.S. Gulf Coast from Louisiana to the Florida Panhandle, killing up to 1,800 people and causing $125 billion in damages. Movies released on August 29th, 1997, The Full Monty. This was a really cute movie. It's a British comedy that follows 6 unemployed steel workers who decide to form a male striptease act. It won a BAFTA award for Best Film and won an Academy Award for Best Original Music Score. So very interesting movie. None of these guys were male models. They were older gentlemen or just too skinny, or one guy is extremely gingerish, red hair, freckles, the whole bit. But it is a great movie. They don't show anything and it doesn't get too risque. It's very timid, but you know what they're talking about. If you get a chance, watch that movie. It's pretty good. It became the highest grossing film in the UK until it was outsold by Titanic. The British Film Institute called it the 25th best film in the 20th century. Born on August 29th, 1958, Michael Jackson, king of pop, who became the most successful singer in American history for releasing award-winning hits like Billie Jean, Beat It, They Don't Care About Us, and Smooth Criminal. He first rose to prominence at the age of 6, singing with a family group, the Jackson 5, alongside his brothers, Jermaine, Tito, Marlon, and Jackie Jackson. We all know that, he's dead now, and his life was extremely weird and extremely illegal in a lot of cases. I won't get into that. Died on August 29th, 2016, we lost the great Gene Wilder. He was an actor who was nominated for an Oscar for his first major film role in The Producers. He also portrayed Willy Wonka in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. He was also the lead in, or at least one of the leads in Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein, 2 of the funniest movies I've ever seen. He was also on Sesame Street. He played different characters on Sesame Street from 1989 to 1996. Wasn't just like a one-off thing for him. Gene Wilder died in 2016 on August 29th at the age of 83 in Stamford, Connecticut. It was complications from Alzheimer's. He'd been diagnosed like 3 years prior to his death, but kept it private. His nephew, after his death, said that he kept the diagnosis private because he didn't want kids to know about it and he didn't want people to associate him with the disease, and he just couldn't stand the thought of having one less smile in the world. All right, everyone, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a productive day, and be nice to each other.